to hang out? Who's going to pour the beer?
Hey, thanks for bringing our beer test down.
I don't want to watch you fall over and
on the last episode.
All over.
Yeah. What is it? What do you stand on your head and like? Let's see it. What do you got?
Downward
Can you do
dog.
it in jeans?
I guess it's okay with my eyes. 'Cause the one
Yeah.
Why would your eyes be a factor in this?
one thing
Pressure, Ryan.
Hold my
Pressure.
arms on my head.
What would you know about
Can't put your head up your ass.
Don't put your head-
That causes a lot of pressure. You got it right here. You're little. You can make it.
Do it.
Don't fall on me.
Do it.
So normally I've
Here we go.
been doing this for a while.
She's gonna fart while she's doing this. She's gonna pee or she's gonna fart.
Can I move this?
Well, yeah, why not?
Why you gotta fuck with shit?
Well, it's not like we're recording anything anyway.
See crow pose.
I want to. I want to push
I
her over.
don't go like my leg.
I want to push her over.
What's happening right now?
She's gonna do the crow pose.
She looks like she's just squatting down.
No. She's gonna put her knees on her elbows. You know.
She's laughing now.
Fart is flatulence is hilarious. That's it. This is very well done.
I could do that.
And no flatulence. Impressive.
I'm not sure I could do it though.
Now, let me share this with you. My father, who's about the same height as her, actually a little tall. He's like 5'6". But and my sister, I believe, at one point, before yoga was popular. This is like mid '80s.
Okay.
We're able to do that. We didn't call it that. I don't know what we called it.
We just fucked around on the floor.
I don't
and
know.
like,
We didn't call it the crow pose, but
look, I can put my feet in the air.
I think for a minute I was able to do it too, and it was like this big challenge. Like, I can stand on my head. It's not really standing on your head. It's putting your knees on your elbows and whatever. But I always thought it was impressive. And plus, can you, if you sit crisscross applesauce, Indian style, whatever you want to call it, are your arms long enough that you can swing?
No, my arms aren't long enough anyway. My arms are short, which is it's a struggle with yoga.
So you can't like lift your butt off the ground using your hands.
Just a long torso.
Yeah. Oh, I think you can. You're close. You're not sitting right. You got to cross your legs up. You got to like not just crisscross applesauce. Put your feet on top of your thighs. Yeah, you can do that. Come on. You're young and nimble. Come on.
Do it now.
Yeah, there you go. Put that one up there, and then put the other one on top of your other leg.
That's not happening.
Yes, it is. Come on. Don't make me do this. Yeah, no. Pick your left foot up. Put it on front of your right leg, and put it on top of your right leg.
It won't go.
Yes, it will.
Ryan, it will go.
Come on, you do yoga regularly. She's gonna tip over
Not
backwards.
this fucked up shit.
Anyway, if you get your fucking feet out of the way, you could.
She doesn't
you
do
could pivot
80s
on
yoga,
your,
Ryan.
That's not. Yeah, this is like dirtbag yoga.
We used to just sit around and put our feet up on our knees.
Yeah, my dad. Again, weird shit. That I guess he would sit around and get drunk and say, "Hey kids, want to see how I can contort my feet?" And he would put his foot behind his head.
Oh,
He could. I used to be able to when I was younger, but I can't do it now. I don't know. That's an interesting question for Rebecca to see if she could put her.
Why did we ever do that, Rebecca?
I don't know why any of us did it, but it was just like, hey, look at this.
Yeah.
Another thing, we had a coffee table growing up that was like this real heavy wooden, big, clunky coffee table, and I guess. I don't know. She's always been small, so it wasn't long before I caught up with her in size. But I would lay on my back and I would put my feet.
Did you do airplane?
No, this is different than airplane. I put my feet under the ledge of the coffee table, and the coffee table was heavy enough that I wouldn't flip it over.
Okay.
So I could lock my feet underneath the coffee table, and then she would sit on my legs, and I would wiggle my feet, and then they would come loose, and I would flip her into the air.
What?
And throw her across the fucking room.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fucking fun, man. It was good stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah. It was a heavy-ass coffee table.
Is there any
was made out of
VHS of
solid
this?
like oak.
Dave one time flipped Carter across the room on a beach
Yeah.
chair.
When he was little bitty.
Yeah.
He was like 2, and he's like, oh, Carter.
Yeah, it's fun whenever you have no fear of getting
Carter didn't
injured.
think it was fun.
Well, yeah. Well.
Like he didn't trust Dave.
But whenever you can do things and we're like, yeah, well, this might hurt, but
Did
it's
you and
only gonna hurt
Rebecca
for a minute.
ever play karate?
No, we didn't play.
Karate Kid came
one time
out,
I
you
beat
weren't,
the
like,
shit out of
kicking
her.
each
Well, she beat the shit out of me a lot, but there was one time where she I think that she felt as though she was given a mandate from the parental units.
Beat your brother's ass.
To clean the house. And she thought of, well, that's not for me to clean the house. That is for me to instruct the young one to clean the house. So she came to me and said, you need to clean the house. I said, fuck you.
As one does.
Yeah, as a younger brother tends to say to an older sister. And she neglected to acknowledge the fact that I had surpassed her in weight and height and strength. And so I was probably 13-ish, 14 maybe between 12 and 14. And she thought she could still intimidate and whoop my ass. And I said, nope, I ain't cleaning. Fuck you. They told you to clean. And she says, no, they told you to clean. Whatever the fuck it was, right? So
you have to do what I say.
Yeah, right. And she wouldn't get out of my way.
Not that you sound like that, Rebecca.
Well, it's kind of like that. You need to do what I say. I'll say it. That's kind of how she sounded. This is 1988, Rebecca. So
it's a great year, but
it was a good year. So she stood in my path of egress and said, I must do as she instructed. And I was having none of that. So I put her into the wall.
Nice.
I basically put a shoulder into her and said, get the fuck out of my way. And I threw her into Mom's curio cabinet, which is really just a thing on the wall. It was like a bunch of little bitty cubby holes. But it knocked it off the wall. And I think it broke some shit. And of course, I got in trouble. But here's the real pisser of the whole thing. Is that, again, let's call it 13 years old. So for 13 years of my life, I had been getting the shit kicked out of me by my older sister. I finally had surpassed her in size and weight and strength and stamina and intelligence.
Girth.
And everything. You name it. I am a dominant individual.
Yep.
And she calls my dad and says, he hurt me.
Dad.
And I got my ass chewed. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? She's been beating the piss out of me for fucking 13 years. One time.
Right.
One fucking time. I get one over on her. And now I'm in trouble. I haven't said a word. I've just taken it like a man.
You never
for
said
fucking years.
Dad, she hurt me.
I may have told my mother, and she's like, suck it up. You're gonna have to deal with it. I never told my dad, I don't think, but that's just the dynamic of things. But I will say this. You got an older sister.
I do.
That there's benefits to getting this shit kicked out of you by your older sister.
I don't know if I would say she kicked the shit out of me, but not really.
Now, she probably should have.
She was passive.
She should have.
Should have, really.
Yeah.
Would that have solved a lot of later problems in life?
Is your brother younger than you?
Yeah, a year younger.
So you're the middle child?
Yeah.
That explains it.
Middle child gets screwed. Middle children get screwed.
No, middle children are...
Oh, my God. They get the shaft. Yep.
Chuck's fine.
The oldest child gets everything favored. The baby is the baby. The middle children get screwed.
So what if there's only two? How do you explain that?
Still the older child gets the benefit. Usually.
Do you think?
Oh, you think?
Yeah. I mean, no. Generally, the oldest kid is favored by all the grandparents. I will say first to do all the cool stuff.
They get a lot of shit. They get a lot of gifts. But the younger child, the second or third born, depending on how many there are, or the fourth, fifth, sixth, they get the benefit of the parents are a little bit numb.
Yeah.
Yes, relaxed to all the bullshit. So I definitely benefited from my sister's. It's not her stupidity. It's just she did shit. Same shit that I did. It's not stupid. She got caught, but it's because the parents were a little bit more aware. They were a little bit more like, on edge and ready for shenanigans.
With you.
No, with her.
I feel like it's the other way around.
Once they've been through it, they're like,
or they're holding you to her standard. They're like,
it's like watching your kid fall on the playground. The firstborn, you watch them fall on the playground. You're like, oh my God, and you run over and you pick him up. Like, are you okay? Oh my God, Timmy, are you gonna be okay? The second one falls on the playground. You're like, yeah, I'll be all right.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the same thing. Like the first one throws a party and trashes the neighborhood and floods the streets because they threw all beer cans down the sewer. That happened.
But it's also like the first one.
The second time that happens, the second one, they just like, that's going to happen. He's going to trash the fucking neighborhood.
But it's also like, the first one bumps their head on something and it's, oh my God, call the nurse, call the doctor, go to the hospital. Second one bumps their head and they're like, he's fine. Meanwhile, you're crying with a big knot on your head and like, get over it, you're fine.
Yeah.
So the second one gets screwed.
Or you're tougher for having to deal with it.
Yeah, well.
Sorry, Kristin. What were you going to say?
I was just well behaved.
Oh, okay. Well, you were the baby. No, you're the middle?
You and I both perceive that compared to our older and younger siblings, we got the shaft.
I never really.
I think you guys have broken like a cardinal sin of.
Yeah, because
you shouldn't. Middle children shouldn't marry.
Right. Except we relate to each other.
Well, no, but there has to be like a balance, right? So like a middle child should marry the baby or the oldest, or maybe an only child. Like, so I'm the baby. I married an only child. I wouldn't advise it. But hey, to each their own. You learn things, right?
So what you're saying is, don't get married. That's what I heard.
No. I'm saying marry. Don't marry an only child. That's troubling. They're very. They've always had attention, and I love my wife. Don't get me wrong, but she has constantly, her entire life, from birth till today, has had someone to be like, are you okay?
Right.
Are you so me being the baby, or you being the middle child, or both of you, it's like you had moments from age 0 to 18 where someone was just like, oh fuck, we forgot about that one. No one's ever forgotten about the only child.
Right.
No one's ever been like, oh shit, where'd that one go? Right. But if you're the baby or maybe even the firstborn, but definitely if you're the baby or the middle child, you've been forgotten on occasion.
See, that's where I don't think the baby does, because once you've had a couple kids,
the baby totally does.
No, the baby gets all the attention because they're the cute little one
only two?
Who's needy.
What if there's only two, you jackass?
Right. I'm saying, what? This is my podcast.
You got the older kid that's got the sports going on.
Yeah.
The baby's who knows where.
They're right there with all the parents.
No,
they're like,
how many places have we
keep
been
our eye
where
on
you're
her.
like, where's little Timmy?
No.
Oh, he's playing
how
in the
many
dirt over
times
there.
do the parents miss the older kids' game because they got to go take care of the baby? We got to take the baby over here.
I don't know.
The
In
baby's this.
being around parents that when our kids
He's never
were
paying
kids,
attention to
he
anybody
isn't.
else.
No, he's just
Whatever.
pissy. He's like, there's a kid here.
Yeah.
Whose fucking kid is crying?
How dare they
who brought
spoil
their
my
baby
baseball
to this
watching
game?
experience? Fucking children.
I'm telling you, middle children get screwed. The oldest kid will always be favored, no matter what they do. The youngest kid is
And that's your
always the
sister,
cute little
right?
baby who does nothing wrong.
So hold on, we're talking about your sister.
I feel like your brother was kind of a golden
Man, I know your sister does not want to be on this show, but I really feel like we need to have her.
Well, that's okay.
No,
I probably not.
I feel like I need to ask her because I think he's never asked her. I think he's afraid to ask her because she might say yeah, and he's like, fuck.
Well, I don't know. I don't need to have her on here.
Well, maybe we just have her and you take a side seat.
Why don't you just start a podcast with her, Ryan?
Maybe. I don't know.
See, she's the favorite.
I've had him. He's got a real complex about this.
He needs to go to therapy.
I think so.
She's acting like she doesn't too. You have the exact same complex I do. Yes.
I think she has a very strong relationship with her sisters. They all get along very equally.
Well, then she lied to me our entire relationship because you've always said, "Oh, I know the middle children get screwed."
Well, she's just trying to make you feel better about yourself. She's just trying to calm your ass down.
But I don't know. I mean.
Well, we've done 20 minutes on sibling relationships.
We actually
here.
haven't started this episode yet.
Well, but this is 15 minutes of outtakes on sibling relationships. Right. I talked to you a little bit about. I started listening to that sibling, and she did Crow Post sibling revelry with Hudson's yes. Oliver and Kate Hudson.
You did, yep.
It's interesting to me. I think I don't buy into all what they're saying, but they were talking about like that if you have a traumatic birth, like so when I was born, I was as the story goes, my mother almost died and I almost died. Mm-hmm. So they ended up having to do an emergency C-section. They yanked me out, but basically because I pooped too much and I was like suffocating in my own what do they call
Feces?
that? Poop. What's that word? Like
what?
Something with it starts with an M. Yes.
Is it meconium?
Something like that.
Meconium
I feel like that's the inventor of the radio.
No,
that's Marconi.
It's definitely a poop. But that might be the first poop.
Anyway, yeah.
Right in
so
if you know
I
what
almost
baby
drowned
poop
in my
in the
own
womb
poo, and so the doctors they like yanked me out of that motherfucker. But my mom almost died too, so they separated us. And this is mid 70s, a little bit different medical world. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have. So the point was that Oliver Hudson had kind of the same thing.
Okay,
and but he was not like immediately thrust into the arms of his mother. And so what he started to question was, well, what does that do psychologically to a baby? Yeah. When most babies are taken from the womb and then immediately placed on the mother's chest, where they feel this love and this kiss and this warm embrace, and then others are taken and thrust into the bun warmer and then shipped off to the NICU, which is I think what was the case with me.
Well, yeah, which was I pointed out you always had a closer relationship with your mom.
Yes, but not because of that immediate, like there was no immediate relationship. I also have some feelings of abandonment.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but whatever.
Here we go.
Yeah.
You need to go to therapy too.
Probably. But so my oldest, he was born similarly. He came out with the umbilical cord around his neck, and he was not placed on his mother's chest. He was sent off to the NICU, and then they came to me like, I don't know, 10 minutes later, and they're like, "Oh, well, your son's down here. If you want to come visit him, he's in a."
If you want to.
Well, I was like, "Do I want to leave my wife, who had just gone through some pretty serious shit?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah. You cool, bitch? All right, let's go." And so
I think that's a quote too. Yeah. That's a direct.
And so I went down and I hung with Tej, and so that was the first. So he had obviously he'd met some humans. He had met with the nurses and maybe a doctor who cut some shit off of him and stuff, right? And umbilical cord, this is normal stuff, right? Not like that didn't happen yet. That's a day or two later.
Really?
How do you not know these things?
I don't think it was 2 days later when our son had his junk cut.
Maybe like a day.
Yeah, it's maybe a day or two.
It was the next day.
Well, maybe the next.
Were you there?
No, I was at home playing Fortnite.
So yeah, so I go down there, and now again, he met nurses, and they had probably, arguably, they had said some things like, "Hey, buddy, you're gonna be all right," whatever. So I go down and I meet Teach, and I'm like, "Hey, buddy, I'm your dad," and I stick my little finger in his my big finger in his little fingers, and he squeezed it, and I'm like, and I said something, I don't even know what I said. I'm like, you're gonna be all right. It's cool. I got you, homie. Whatever. And I feel like that's why him and I have a bit of a bond. That like him and his mom, they were like oil and water. They just fucking butt heads constantly. But him and I, we're kind of simpatico.
I feel like I have a relationship with my son.
And they separated you guys. Now they did bring him over.
But who was the first interaction with your son? Was it you or was it him?
You? No, it was you.
Oh, I was laid up.
I mean, yeah,
she might have even carried him over
because he was at home playing.
Right. I wasn't even there.
Call of Duty or some shit.
I mean, she had a cesarean, so they took him and did whatever to make sure everything was cool, and then they did bring him over to you. So like, it wasn't like they didn't take him out of the room and down the hall or anything like that.
No, but I didn't get to hold him.
No, not right away.
He just gave him a fist bump.
For whatever reason, he's had this super close relationship with the nurse. I don't know. It was weird.
Oh, no. Wow, that's weird.
See, that's where I kind of dispute this. I think for every...
I want to nip that in the bud.
For every person that...
He's got some deviant shit going on up there.
Jesus. Every person that you say, oh, look, they were taken down the hallway and they're not close with their mom, you could find somebody that is super close with their mom and was taken down the hallway.
I'm looking for a podcast.
Jesus.
Do you think, are you busy?
No one listens to me.
I'm
a middle child.
I'm beginning to wonder if anybody's listening to them. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the good news is it's close to home for you. We've got
Are we going to ask him to produce
I'll just come
it?
down there and hit record
we'll
and walk
let him sit
away.
on the couch and take some pictures periodically. How's that sound?
Maybe the occasional yoga pose.
Maybe.
Yeah. I need somebody to do girl.
That's good shit right there. We haven't even started an episode. And we're 21 minutes in. What are we going to talk about? We're talking about...
Oh, sorry. What?
Let's make it happen. Let's go.
I feel like at this point we're just...
And
We're 2 feet in already.
So this is one of those where you just make the music fall into the right spot.
I didn't do that. You notice on the one where you said that we would like put the intro.
You played music, didn't you?
Well, I did music, but I didn't like...
Yeah, you didn't do
the intro and all that. And we're like, oh, we'll go back and we'll put the intro. And I just got lazy.
I'm not upset about that.
I figured you wouldn't mind.
I don't really care. Don't care about much.
Winging it.
Yeah,
right?
Look at that. Being
so
rebellious.
We get screwed all the time.
Yeah. You know, it explains a lot, honestly. I always thought you were the baby. I thought, for whatever reason, I thought your brother was older than you.
No.
And I think I knew your sister was older than you.
He's a baby. She's older than me.
He was in high school. He was the golden child, though.
Me?
No.
Oh, yeah, my brother. Oh, exactly. Always was.
Maybe I need to get him on here. Maybe
now I am, though. I'm the golden child.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Well, and I think I am, too, because we both stayed in the same town as our
Ah.
all split off.
And we produced
so that's what
great children.
That's what it takes. Stay close to home, and you're the golden child.
We had the first grandchild also.
Yep, that's what did it. You had that first one. You're the man.
So then I'm screwed because my sister beat me on that deal, you know. There's no doubt that my niece is my oldest niece. She is the golden grandchild.
There is an unhealthy reverence for our oldest kid. Like the grandparents, aunts and uncles, everybody favors Carter.
Oh,
I know.
Mostly the grandparents.
You know what?
Grandparents,
I know
even
both of your kids. I know your nephew. I don't know your niece on your side.
Right.
I've heard tale of this young lady.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like she's a wonderful young person.
Yeah.
Is she a senior?
No, she's a sophomore. Yes.
Really?
She's a year younger than Riley.
Fair enough. But I feel like your kids maybe it's
are the best,
are who I follow. You know, it's who.
You know that.
They seem to be the upper echelon.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna.
Well, you know, I do have a reverence.
As their mother says,
reverence. Is that the word? I do have.
To what?
They're exceptional. They're exceptional kids.
Oh well, sure. And you're saying me
but I think.
About them, so.
But I think Bill's son he's an exceptional athlete. Obviously, I don't know his daughter.
Sister.
She is very
Bill's
quiet.
daughter.
She is not at all the same personality as her brother.
Very reserved.
But I would say
Riley is quiet but confident.
She's not always quiet.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes she's quiet.
I think Carter is exceptional. He's an exceptional human being, and he is the most modest individual one of the most modest individuals that I know. He is just like, I'm the most level-headed motherfucker you're going to meet.
Well, thank you for one.
He's a good kid. He is, and I'm telling you, and this is, if this makes the light of day or not, I've known Carter since he was about 6, maybe.
Probably, yeah.
Since they played ball together on a team or something like that, but and he was just always just quiet, respectful, just easygoing dude.
Yeah.
And he's not changed one bit in 14 years.
Yeah.
13, 14 years. It's crazy. Meanwhile, my kid went from being this little respectful kid to being a complete asshole.
See,
he's just a son of a bitch.
He's on his way to good, successful things.
He's
too,
an asshole.
He's doing good things.
He sent me a text today, and he's like, "Hey, sorry about all the Ubers. I didn't, because he's on my family Uber account. He's sorry about all the Ubers. I didn't plan well, and I had to get a haircut today. And he's got a point. If he doesn't get a haircut, he's going to get busted by the army assholes.
But then I would say, well, then plan well.
Plan better.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I'm like, shit, I didn't get any notification from Uber. Usually I do. Mm-hmm. Well, I realized that I had to reset my phone, and I didn't reinstall the Uber app. So then I go, and I'm like, well, how many have I fucking missed? Right. How many Uber trips have I missed?
When your kid is calling to say sorry about all the Ubers.
What the fuck have I
It's probably a lot.
So I go in and look, and I'm like, all right, that's reasonable. It's like $7. That's not bad, you know. And I get to one, it was like $30. I was like, what the fuck is it? How far did he go? Well, he didn't go very far at all. He went like 10 blocks.
What?
But it was during Mardi Gras. And he left a parade route. So he had some fucking poor Uber driver come into a parade route in New Orleans during Mardi Gras to pick his dumb ass up.
Well, I can pick you up, kid, but it's going to be $30.
Exactly. $29.81. And I was like, what the fuck, man? $29? Did they bring you lunch? I mean, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, well, I don't recall that. I'm like, I'm sure you don't fucking recall.
Yep.
At least he called for the Uber.
Yeah.
Fair enough. He doesn't own a car, so he couldn't have driven himself. So, but he should have used his own goddamn account.
Right.
And furthermore, he goes to school with a bunch of rich assholes. He should have had them motherfuckers order the Uber instead of my poor ass. So
yeah. Well,
anyway, kids are fuckers. Not yours. Mine are.
I was going to say something about our kid. Oh, here's what I'm going to say. So when
your boy? Oh shit.
Yeah, next week, this coming weekend. This Carter, when he was the first and only grandchild, he was only around adults, right? There were no other siblings for him to be around. We were young, so not a lot of our friends had kids
and
yet.
We lived with my parents.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
temporary, very shortly we lived with your parents, but
But
we were around them a lot, and so he interacted with adults exclusively for a long time, and then he finally had a sister, and then Tyson came around, and so he had a couple younger kids, but all those other grandkids, and then all the other kids on your side, and my
just
side,
mocked them. He's like, "Who are these children?"
But they were
these
always
immature humans.
They grew up in a world with other little kids that they interacted with, and people kind of treated everybody like a kid. But when Carter was learning to talk and interact, he only talked with adults, and all those adults they talked to him like an adult. They didn't talk to him like, "Hey, Carter, oh, you're so little, cute little baby." It was none of that. It was just
I probably did that.
Maybe. But I mean, people would say, "Hey, Carter, where do you want to go?"
You do that with Jarod sometimes.
Yeah, she still does that now. Yeah.
You little drunk baby.
Yeah. So I'm convinced that early on development made him very mature at an early age. He didn't even have this perception of like people treating him like a baby or little toddler or kid. Everybody just talked to him like an adult, and he talked back like an adult. There was never any like simpleness or any of that. And I think it mattered. I think it shaped him early on to not that he's like this genius now or anything, but like
no, but he's
it made him a mature person at an early age.
He knows how to manage those relationships, and that's big.
I mean, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I'm still pretty immature.
Well, yeah.
Sometimes you do tend to lean on the "that's what she said" jokes a little bit too much. Sometimes
we had fun.
She's pretty on the spot with it.
Oh, they're appropriate. I'm not saying it's not the right time. It's perfect timing. but as far as what?
Smell that.
That's a skunky beer.
Right? I just bought the 6-pack of Coors Light today.
Where'd you buy that at?
Schnucks.
Pepe Le Pew's thrift
fucking
shop.
Skunky.
Yeah, that's
not what I poured in your glass, though.
No.
That's why I said, can you use Ryan's canned beer? Fucking bottled beer, man. It's a crapshoot.
Yeah, he's got some skunky beer. Here, smell that. Just smell it. You'll smell it as soon as you. You don't smell skunky?
I mean, I'm still going to drink it.
Oh, yeah.
But,
It's definitely skunky.
right?
I just put my nose entirely in that bottle.
Hold on. Let me tongue it real quick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we're not going to kick this off. This is just a random blathering.
Music will start and we'll start talking.
So what were we going to talk about that we were going to talk about?
We didn't have a plan.
We said we were going to talk about like
you wanted to talk about most overrated bands.
Overrated
and
bands,
then underrated.
yeah.
But overrated is better.
It's tough.
But see, I contest it by Biggie. I said,
See
if you really get into overrated, now you're going to just start mentioning bands that no one's ever heard of, and it happens to be your favorite band from college or something.
No, I think that there's some like,
underrated. I meant that was what would be underrated. The bands nobody's ever heard of. Overrated would be more like
you would name some bands no one's ever heard of.
Big Wreck, Dream Theater,
never heard of them.
Avett Brothers.
So Dream Theater, that's a good point. Dream Theater,
Yeah.
I didn't know shit about them. I still don't know shit about them. But you're apparently a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Are they not a cover band?
Not at all.
What,
I mean, I'm assuming at some point, yes, they've played the occasional cover, but they're not a cover band.
They're not a cover band.
Not at all.
Okay.
No. Original band.
I thought I don't know. I don't know shit about them, but I thought that they were.
No.
But you had said that you do not like Rush.
I mean,
You don't like the lead singer.
I have to get over the singer.
Yeah.
The music I like, and some of the later singing I don't mind, but early on he was really so into that high pitched, just
Well, it was that way the whole time. I mean, it's his voice. But
in the mid to late '90s he kind of went lower with his style. But
yeah,
Roll the Bones and Counterparts and stuff was kind of not so high.
So I mean, but I don't know much.
But Dream Theater is very much high pitched vocals. Yeah.
Well, and they're progressive rock. I mean, they're very. I mean, of the same cut of their jib.
Right. They're heavily influenced by Rush for sure.
Yeah. So
I think it's just one of those things. I got into Dream Theater early at the right age, and the fact that
you and like 4 other people.
They're probably the most famous progressive metal band. Now, when you narrow down
other than Rush.
Well, I consider Rush progressive, but not progressive metal.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Because Dream Theater is much heavier than Rush would be.
Okay.
Well,
I'm not. I mean, look, what do I know?
I don't know.
I mean,
well, I don't consider Dream Theater and Rush the exact same genre. And Dream Theater is absolutely classified as progressive metal.
I know very little about Dream Theater, so I'm not going to pass judgment one way or the other.
And I know that most people don't, and that's fine.
Right.
And their singer is the main reason most people who have ever heard them don't like them, because it's so high-pitched and just very, metal singer vocal, high-pitched.
Right.
It was like...
What was the other band you mentioned?
Big Wreck.
Big Wreck. That's
they are not
that is
like Dream Theater.
But you said before that is your favorite band.
Yeah. If I had to say what's my favorite band, I would say Big Wreck.
And Big Wreck has I before you mentioned them, I'd never heard of them in my life.
And they're famous in the sense of like, I'm trying to think of who I would compare them to. For one, they started out in Canada. Well, Boston and Canada.
Like Rush.
Kind of, yeah. So a lot of people in the U.S. just never were exposed to them a whole lot, but they have toured the U.S. many times. They have a lot of American followers, so it's not like they're unknown here, but they just never got wildly huge. But they have videos that were on MTV and all that shit. I mean, they're known. They're just not huge. But to me, they are completely underrated. Like, a lot of people that see them now
you
wonder how the hell did they not get huge? Like, they're so good.
More so musicianship, that they're just very talented musicians, good singing, good harmonizing, but maybe just lacked songwriting. No,
that's the thing, is their songwriting is incredible. And that's why people are like, how? Why? They're amazing musicians, but not in that like shredding, technical, only the music nerds love them. Like, they play classic rock riffs that sound like Led Zeppelin and Rolling Stones and stuff, and it's like, I don't know, it's
so
weird.
You put Big Wreck up against, let's say, who's the shittiest hair band of the 80s?
Like,
pick the shittiest.
Shitty? I mean, I don't know, shitty, but
like Slayer.
Yeah, I mean, a well-known hair band.
Well, yeah, well-known, but not good. Like, hasn't held
Slayer's
up well.
I wouldn't say a hair band. They're like,
okay. Pick another one.
I mean, like Poison
Big.
Or something or whatever.
Poison's held up.
Well,
I mean, it's not artistic,
and they are and were big. So yeah, I mean,
it's commercially successful rock. I'm saying the hair band that was like they had like a couple hits, like
Mr. Big would be
Mr. Big. They weren't very talented,
huge hit, but also never. Right.
So how would you hold up Big Wreck?
Oh yeah, way better.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same
difference?
Time,
what did they do? Did they just have better management? Did they just have better?
I think part of it is that. So we're gonna nerd out on Big Wreck here. So they had their first album, which had a few fairly popular singles, and they were just starting to get momentum, and then they kind of pushed out another album real quick to try to do it again.
Okay,
and then for various reasons. Internal conflict, record label drama, all the shit that happens to most bands, they broke up almost as they were about to maybe get big. And they've talked about it.
How long was their run? How long were they together?
Well, so they had 2 albums in about I would say a 3 or 4 year span, and then they broke up. And then about I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm going to guess 10 years later or so, they reformed with only 1 or 2 of the original members, and then another guy got back in later. So there was this big gap of like nothing where the singer was doing his own thing or whatever. So now they've got like 4 albums since the first 2. So they've been around total 25, 27 years.
3 albums.
Well, they've got like 6. But
okay.
Anyway,
I'm going to further my psychoanalysis of Jarod.
People are tuning out right now, but that's okay.
But no,
go check out Big Wreck, and then you'll understand.
Back because I just promised the psychoanalysis of Jarod. That I think why you like them is because you've been in a lot of these little fledgling bands through your life, and you see a little bit of you in them, and you don't want the Van Halen success. You don't want, but you wouldn't mind the Big Wreck success, and that there's a little bit of what you want to be in that band.
So you don't know me at all, apparently, but that's okay. I mean, it's okay. No, but I do think so.
I do think you want to be successful in a band. Otherwise, you wouldn't keep doing it.
Keep doing it. First of all,
You're about to start another band.
I've only really been in one real band that played out. The first band I was in was a basement band that never ever played out.
Still a band.
It doesn't really count.
You started it for a reason.
When you never performed in front of anybody.
But did you start it? Or not? You didn't start it, but someone started it.
We started a
said,
band.
Yeah, I'm a part of this.
Yeah, sure.
And you had some element of hope.
But I don't think that counts as a band. But okay, fine. So that's 2.
Okay, so 2.
So my first band, in my opinion, wasn't a real band, but okay.
All right. What was the name of it?
Vendetta.
Okay. Wow.
We were a metal band, a progressive metal band.
Not Christian metal.
Not at all.
Not yet.
No. Then there was my second band, which was Arrhythma, and that was a hard rock band. You could argue metal, but I would say hard rock.
Arrhythma. Does that have a meaning? Or is that a real
it's
word?
Just a made up word.
It's not like arrhythmia, which is like a heart attack.
It's not, but we cursed the day that we called it arrhythma because it was way too close to arrhythmia,
which is a heart attack.
Well, it's a
heartbeat irregularity.
Irregularity of the heartbeat.
Yeah, I got you.
And we had way too many people going, so it's arrhythmia? No, it's just arrhythma, rhythm with whatever. Yeah, fuck that. Anyway, and that's it. I've been in 2 bands.
Well, no, come on.
I've been in 2 bands, only one of which was an actual band.
How many have you played with?
I mean,
like as a temporary
I played at
member.
the church. Oh. In the church band. And does that count?
Well, I don't know.
Not really.
You didn't get struck by lightning, so I didn't. Yeah.
And then I've sat in with Dave once, I guess, maybe twice.
So this new gig you got going with these cats.
Well, I wouldn't say we got it going yet, but it's started.
You're trying to get going. Do you have a name
we got a plan. No, not yet. It's got to happen.
Trio?
Organically.
Trio?
At this point, it's a trio.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and you're all just harmonizing. You're like Crosby, Stills, Nash kind of thing. You're all just harmonizing.
So for anybody that is interested, I am trying to, or we've started an acoustic band with two of my best friends from high school. They're still my best friends, and two of my best friends.
What the fuck?
I said two of.
What the fuck?
Two of.
This is some bullshit. This might be a fucking podcast.
You know what?
Here.
The other day,
Jesus Christ,
I said that on the podcast. And I immediately thought, "Oh shit!"
I
said something about. Well, I wasn't talking about you.
Oh, yeah.
I said something about my best friend, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I have other like listeners who are also quote unquote best friends.
You can't have more than one best friend.
My best friend.
You can't
I feel
have
like
one.
You can have a group like these. Let's just say I'm going to throw a number out there. 5. These 5 guys are my best friends. You don't have that. You don't have 5 best friends or 4 best friends.
No, I got a handful of homies. But my best friend is my wife.
Come on, stop it! Don't do that. Don't be that guy.
Well, why isn't she?
She's not.
And then my second best friends are my sons. Those are my peeps.
When you say don't marry an only child, I'm pretty sure that person isn't.
Hey,
best friend.
I'm
out of place saying that.
She's also probably said things like, "Don't marry a douchebag."
Right. Yeah, and I mean. Yes, my wife is one of my best friends.
You don't have to combat. You don't have to. You don't have to try to balance things out, man.
I have about.
You don't have to. No. You can't steal my thunder.
Friends.
I've already laid that shit out there. You can't fucking come back and be like, "Well, yeah, my wife too." No,
I just said.
That doesn't work.
I got no problem saying I got 6 best friends, and that they're all equal.
Yeah,
but
Ryan doesn't fall into any of that shit.
You're like
Ryan has just brought you to the brink of fucking stardom.
Ryan's a second tier,
and you don't even count me in the not even first tier.
No, not first tier. Hey, man, I got.
All right, well, Kristin's on the short list for my next podcast partner.
I'm telling
you. And furthermore, so you got this trio.
I'll just say we share opinions on vaccinations and atheism. So
who's this?
My wife. That you want to start a podcast with.
About
You're screwed.
Your bandmates, and I was gonna retract.
We definitely don't.
What I was about to say, but so you've got these 2 bandmates.
Yeah.
So you're gonna play the guitar. Just like a rhythm guitar.
It'll be an acoustic band. Okay. Yeah. No drums.
And then some other cat is gonna play what? A fiddle.
One of the other guys is gonna he'll mostly probably play acoustic guitar, but also he does a lot of he plays the accordion, the lap steel.
Jesus, we got fucking Weird Al Yankovic on this gig.
So it'll be eclectic in that sense.
All right. And about that third dude?
And then he's just going to play guitar.
Okay, so we got way too many fucking guitars.
What do you want?
It's like a banjo or something.
Group.
Can someone play a banjo? Can we get Steve Martin in this shit?
I would like to buy a banjo, but I don't
have
one.
Banjo?
I would like to learn.
I'm sure imagine you probably could. If you can play guitar, you can play a banjo.
It can't be that.
It's like an 8-string, isn't it? How many strings are on a banjo?
4? 5. I think it's 5.
Wow.
But it's weird. There's 4 the whole way, and there's a 5th one only part of the way.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
Kind of wacky shit.
Some American bullshit.
Backwoods crap. Fucking slack-jawed
So really shit. Soon, like we're trying to do this soon. Not in a couple weeks, but maybe in a couple months.
The 3 of you can sing?
Well, harmonize? I know we can because we actually definitely have that. That's our background. We all have sung together for years. And harmony. It's going to be a very harmony-driven, eclectic. We're going to do cool songs. Some of it'll be completely like we'll take an 80s rock song and turn it into a slower acoustic song. So we'll take a folk song and do that. We'll do a modern song and do that
in your band.
Well, I mean, there's me.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. I think you might need an element of cool,
dude,
in your band.
You'll see. It's gonna play well.
You let me finish my fucking pitch here.
Asked if I had made cool.
Well, yeah, right. So
I tried to answer.
What I'm saying is that I mean, you got a guy that has this velvety voice and has been known to sing a song here or there. That might be able to bring an element of cool to your show. Just saying. I don't know.
Well,
you might be. I don't know. I could probably.
I don't think we're gonna do Mac the Knife, but if we do,
I got much more range than fucking Mac the Knife. You motherfucker!
I've only heard you sing Mac the Knife because you won't sing in front of me.
Well, why would I?
Because I don't know. But now you're talking about this buttery smooth voice you got.
Well, you've only heard about how many episodes of me?
Hey, Singing is
it's not
one
just
thing.
all me wheezing and laughing.
Podcasting is and singing is not the same.
Well, no, it's not. But you know when someone's got a voice, and
hey, you want to get involved in this thing?
No,
we need a cool front man. Apparently, according to some people,
you need something. You got 2 guitarists.
Wow.
What do you got? You got 2 guitarists
and a multi-instrumentalist.
You got 3 guitarists.
Sometimes.
You're going to start a band with 3 guitars.
You're going to see.
You got no.
It's going to be great.
You don't have a banjo
we
player.
got alternate tunings.
You don't got
We got different. It's going to be great.
What do they call that? A capo? Is that what they call that thing?
We got a capo.
So you got 3 guitars
capos.
and 2 capos.
Yep.
Like, we're going to take the world by storm.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm sorry, brother. I don't mean to shit on your game, but no, I feel like you need to bring a little bit more. I feel like look. Before we even started this, we were watching some videos on the old YouTube.
He was giving me shit for not having a drummer. I'm like, dude,
well, I do feel
it's an acoustic act at small venues locally. We gotta have a fucking drummer in the back.
I don't think it's a drummer, but you need to have some depth to the music. And having 3 acoustic guitars,
you'll see.
I hope I do. What'd you say that the second guy? The second guy could do. He could also play other stringed instruments.
Yeah,
like a mandolin.
Mm-hmm.
No,
he's got
banjo,
a lap steel.
A lap steel.
Harp? No, what's the?
I swear to God, a motherfucker rolls up with a goddamn harp.
Accordion.
Oh, okay, the accordion. That's not a string.
And a harmonica. Yeah. I mean, stuff like that.
Does a harmonica count?
Sure,
do prison instruments count?
Prison. If you can shove it up your.
Yeah. I don't know. The prison instruments they count. I can play the spoons.
Right.
Can I be in your band?
Yes, a harmonica counts. Yeah. Get no respect.
Jesus Christ! I might have had a few too many beers. I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do. We've never done this kind of thing before, and
I can't imagine.
It'll be fun. It'll be a challenge. We want to see if we can pull it off and have it be good. I think it's going to be good.
Well, clearly, if our superintendent of our illustrious school district can get gigs, then you 3 clowns should be able to.
Wow, that is not all views expressed on this podcast.
Hey, you know what's funny about the soup of our
this is terrible beer, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure it's skunky as fuck. I smelled it.
Really is.
But
I'm gonna stop drinking.
He used to bring a guitar. He was that guy.
Who are you referring to?
That he and I mean he's good. I mean I'm not shitting on him.
Where did he bring a guitar?
Barbecues. We were at mutual friends places, and we used to we vacationed a couple times or whatever. But he would bring his guitar and just start to play. He would get his iPad out.
Yeah,
and read music from his iPad and play. And so I got drunk enough one night that I sang with him, and we had a fine time. But now he is in the paper as the singing superintendent.
What?
And, you haven't seen this?
I don't think so.
Oh man, yeah. So he's up at the wine bar and stuff like that.
I kind of struggle with this a little bit. First of all, I will say I've heard Ryan sing, and he's a good singer. And you acted like you can't sing or you're not a singer, and then you fucking belted out some shit at karaoke, and I was like,
have
what
very
the fuck?
very small range. I
don't know, but it was good. What I heard, good job.
Oh, thank you.
But I do kind of struggle with that. So this sort of the attitude that you're given with, let's just say, Brian Sharon, the superintendent, it's a little bit like, really, you're going to show up with your guitar?
I give him credit that he's followed
douchey, and I kind of agree with you.
The first couple times, whenever someone shows up with the guitar, and I mean it's very Animal Housey, right? It's like everybody's seen Animal House whenever the dude's sitting on the stairwells and John Belushi comes down and just beats the fuck out of the guitar on the wall because it's a douche thing to do to be sitting there and playing some fucking folk song you're trying to make the girls swoon.
Yeah. But at the same time, if you go perform at a local venue, whether it's a bar or whatever.
That's why I do give him credit.
Are you a douche? I don't know.
I think he's stuck with it enough, and he's obviously proven himself, and I don't know that he's built a following, but he's entertaining enough, he's talented enough, and he's confident enough, which is the number one thing, being confident enough to be able to say, fuck it, I'm going to go, and also to be a public figure. He's the superintendent of the school district, and to be able to say, you know what, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with my guitar and I'm going to sit in a bar with a bunch of drunk assholes and I'm going to play Billy Joel songs or whatever the fuck he I don't know what he played. I haven't ever seen him. But I know that he's good enough. I know I don't think he's a he's not Eddie Van Halen. He's not a David Crosby or a Stephen Stills. He's not able to pluck. I think he's able to play chords. He's a talented musician in that regard. He knows a good range of songs, and he has a decent enough voice that he can harmonize with his own guitar, which is great. And that's half the battle, right?
It's interesting though. Like there's people that are like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care what people think or say or whatever. But then if you really didn't care, you would be totally content to just sit in your basement and play songs and like learn to, whatever.
And I've known guys
you don't
like
care.
That. Yeah.
Right. Definitely. Yeah. There's people that are like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's people that like, and I'm kind of getting to be that way. Like I want to perform, but I'm not even sure why. Like, because I'm definitely one of those, I don't care. I don't care what people think.
You do, though.
Care what people think?
Well, not that you care what people think.
I mean,
you want to
if
be...
I'm going to do something, I want people to like it.
You want to be recognized. Sort of. You want to be acknowledged for your talents.
But I mean...
There's nothing wrong with
not
that.
in a douchey way, but just in a like...
No, they're
it's
exactly.
weird, right?
Not in a douchey way. I mean, it's no different than... It's no different than someone who's good at their job, who it's not music, it's just business, right? That's someone that just wants to be acknowledged for the, God damn it, I'm good at what I do.
Right.
I'm, if you're a salesperson and you've managed to land account after account after account, but yet you've never been acknowledged, you just scream out like, hey, what the fuck, man?
Right.
Look, pay attention to what I'm doing over here. So you've been playing music for your adult life, your child life too.
Time.
I mean, so since you were 10 years old, you've been playing music, right?
Like that. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you've had acknowledgement. You've had a band or two, right? As much as I bust balls on it, but you've had a band. You've had some success. You've had gigs.
Right.
You've played at Pops and shit, right?
Mm-hmm. Point Fest.
Yeah. I mean, so you've done some things, right?
I mean, yeah.
But you're at the point in your life now where you're having a bit of a midlife crisis. Nothing wrong with that.
Wow.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
I
know.
Look, I mean, we all have it. I mean, some people buy cars. Some people just want to be acknowledged. Some people, whatever. You just want to be acknowledged for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's where you're at. Is that like, look, I still got this, and I worked hard for this talent. I worked hard to acquire this ability, and I want to show it off, and I want to be acknowledged for what I can do.
But see, that's what's weird is it's not just I want recognition or I want to show it off. It's because I mean, anybody that knows me is like, that is so not me. I am not someone that seeks the spotlight. I'm not someone
but I think it's
that tries to call attention to the things that I do, whether it's at work or anything.
Although you do have a podcast that we try to push and publicize.
Right. But I don't push it as much as we could because it's like, okay, whatever. Anyway, but my thing is there's something with having performed in a band that has had some degree of, people coming out and watching and listening and reacting. There's something about getting a positive response from people. Getting a quote unquote fan base, right? People that like what you're doing, whether it's podcasting or your boss at work or whatever, right?
Just a pat on the back
There's
means
something
the world.
about it,
yeah.
And as far as I know, and maybe I'm naive and blind to it, it's not this egocentric. It's not like I want attention. I love it when people love me. It's not that. It's something about. I almost feel like it's serving the people. It's like, when you can make them happy, when you can play a song that people like or want to hear again or whatever, there's something great about that. And it's not an ego thing. It's like a rewarding thing. Like it rewards me to make you happy.
But it's both. It serves your ego is not a bad word. Ego is not a bad thing.
Yeah, right.
Ego is a psychological term and Freud thing. It's a thing, right?
Yeah.
So you do need to serve your ego. And so it's a human trait that we want to serve our own ego. We have to. If we don't, we end up in these doldrums. We end up in this little, shit space over here.
Yeah.
So why do we do this? Why am I sitting here bloviating like I am?
Right.
I'm serving my own ego.
All of our listeners wonder the same thing.
Right. And probably no one's listening right now. Maybe one or two. But no, it's all with intent. I mean, we I think, you think, that we have something important to say, and whatever it is, I feel like what I have to say is meaningful and important, and people should listen. And it doesn't matter if it's the spoken word like we're doing right now, or if it's music, if it's playing a chord, if it's an original chord, or if it's lyrics, or if it's an interpretation of a Beatles song, or whatever, or a Bobby Darin song, whatever it might be. It's you feel like I have something I feel like people need to hear, and I know that if they hear this, they're going to appreciate it to some degree, and they're going to either applaud, or pat me on the back, or high-five me, and it's going to be not entirely self-serving because they're going to feel good. They've heard this song that made them feel good, and they've in turn appreciated me and made me feel good, and that's the beauty of what we do. And I think that's the beauty of what every band, underrated, overrated, doesn't matter. Dream Police or Queen or Rush or Van Halen or what's the one we listened to earlier?
Nickel Creek or Avett
Brothers. That's the goal of every band is Tower of Power. That's the goal of every band is to do what they love and to hope that the audience appreciates what they're doing as much as they appreciate doing it. Does that make sense?
It does. And I guess what I want to try to describe is I feel like having seen, and everybody has, not just me, we've all seen that band, whether they're super famous or not, where they just want the attention. The singer's out there acting like a douche and just, it's all about me, and the guitar player's got to stand up on his cabinet and thrash this solo out, and it's like, look at me.
That's
some of that is entertainment. Yeah, you're right. But some of it, I mean, you can kind of tell, especially if you ever talk to these people afterwards, when they're just like, look at me, what'd you think of that song? Blah, 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 that kind of stuff. And it's like, dude, that was fine, but get over yourself. And that's not me at all. If I could have everyone not even look at me on stage and just hear what we're doing, that would be great.
What was that movie?
And if I never had to talk about what I'm doing, I would love that, because I get uncomfortable. People compliment, and I'm like, oh, yeah, you heard that?
So have you seen the Dirt? Have you watched The Dirt? The Motley Crue movie?
No.
So it's a really...
Is it good?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, talking about standing up on the amp and thrashing, and I mean, that band is, well, I mean, kind of the epitome of glam rock and just doing just ridiculous shit, right? But if you watch that movie, it's really good. Obviously, it's produced by Motley Crue. It's produced by these guys. So but it is. I think it's a fair representation of their career. And so they're kind of a product of the environment. It's like you want to shit on them, but that's what they're supposed to do. It's what they're expected to do, especially if you're an 80s glam rock, hair band. And so anyway, it just gives you perspective on I think a lot of people want to shit on the Poison, the Motley Crue, the whatever, right? The Van Halens of the world. And say well, they're just out there for their own, adoration.
Right.
They just want every girl to bow down before them. It's
the showmanship was part of the gig. Yeah, I mean that's
so.
what
I think it is. It becomes that, but I don't think it's that way in the beginning. I think every rock and roll musician is driven by whatever, money, sex, fame, whatever, drugs. But I think that a lot of these guys are driven by the love of music. Similar to the way you are, that they just want to go out there and they want to play their music, and then everything else just kind of gets wrapped up in it. And before they know it, they're getting blown by a hooker and they're snorting coke off of fake breasts.
That's pretty much how it is.
Yeah, right. That's the same way in Southern Illinois.
No, I do love when you see a guitar player from some hair metal band or whatever that obviously was always really good, but kind of did the same old thing. And then you see them by themselves or behind the scenes or in a recording situation.
Right.
And they're incredible musicians.
Well,
they're able to
and
do
they're also,
so much more than they ever did in their band. You know,
they're kind of not dethroned, but they're kind of neutered a little bit.
Yeah.
When they're not on that big stage
right.
in front of all the people, they're just kind of their wings are clipped. I gotta piss like a racehorse.
Well, we are an hour in, and now we're just talking about how great I am. So we should probably.
I don't know that's what we were talking about, but you go ahead and wrap this up. I gotta pee.
Okay, Ryan is gonna pee. I'm gonna wrap up this episode. We want to thank you guys for tuning in.
Off the episode.
I know. Thanks for listening and subscribing and all that. If you haven't subscribed and somehow you're just listening to this randomly, please hit that subscribe button, and you can listen to us. Ryan bash me pretty much every week these days, it seems like, and talk about politics and religion and viruses and music and bands and beer and who knows what, yoga poses. You never know what you're gonna get. So again, we thank you for listening, and until next time, I'm Jarod, and also I'm Ryan apparently because he's peeing. So get a load of this.